Ian, can you just update us first on the injury situation, how the Barrett boys and anyone else that might have been afflicted?
Geordie's bad ankle, but not too bad. Bodie's went for a scan last night on his neck. That's clear, so we'll just make a decision on that later in the week, but he's still a bit sore.
Any concerns about that challenge? I mean, it was dealt with, I guess, on the field and everything, but...
Oh, massive concerns. Yeah. I mean, it's probably the worst I've seen.
It's reckless.
Pretty disappointing because it happened in the 10th minute as well, and they deemed that was fair, and that's part of the problem in the game, is that we're in a line-out. If you throw a jumper over to their line-out with an arm up, it's considered obstruction, whereas it's becoming a bit of a free-for-all for jumpers just to be able to jump and stick a hand out and say they're competing. So it needs to be addressed.
Who considered it fair for you? Because I don't think the referee even had a second look at it at the game.
He didn't, but the TMO said that the guy got a hand on it, and then subsequently didn't rule it as a knock-on when it was. So, but we've got to make sure that we're protecting guys in the air. And to be fair, if you're going to compete, you should at least show a couple of hands up.
What's the process for that? Do you send clips and ask for them to look at it this week? Or?
Yep, definitely.
It's particularly salient against these guys, isn't it? Because it's such a big part of their game, that chase of that high ball.
Well, it is, but it becomes a little bit easier if there's sort of a wide interpretation of what you can do underneath it. And so, we've got to look at our responsibilities in the air and how we catch and stuff like that, because it's coming. But same side, we do expect more protection than we got last night.
Did Bowden actually go for an HIA at the end there? Because you obviously brought Rico back on.
Yeah.
But apart from the neck,
Nah, he's fine.
In terms of shaping the back three, I guess you're comfortable with the cover that you've got?
Yep. Yeah, we've got the players we want, so we'll make those decisions as the week goes on.
Ian, perhaps you can provide a bit of context on this, because your comments after the game, where you called it, I think on TV, the best performance, and to us the most improved performance, and going up Cogs, it's had a lot of reaction back home. People kind of feel like, maybe they're looking at a different game or something. Can you just give some context on that? Why did you say that, and do you stick by it now in the cold light of day?
Yeah, look, I think certainly I thought our defence and our I think we were a lot sturdier in that space. We defended well in the outside channels after really negating their big carriers close in, so I was pleased with that. Whereas against Ireland, we conceded a couple in that areas. I thought our line-out work, we pressured theirs, but also our line-out more defence, which was a big work on for us, and I thought there was a big shift in that space. So, and also a lot of our movements off the ball, I think we had a lot more certainty about what we were doing, and so I felt that those series were ones that we targeted, and we did get a big movement in them, but it wasn't good enough, and it's I think I made the point that for all that good stuff, we still. A team's trying to find its feet. We're trying to, get out of this sort of 3 defeats, and we're trying a little bit too hard, and then the errors are in big moments, and so that's the part that we've got to sort out very quickly.
Does it become a kind of mental vicious cycle in some ways? The more you lose, the harder you try.
Oh, look, there's no doubt about that, and I'm incredibly proud of the effort that they're putting in, and they're working hard, and we're not in terms of effort, but also in problem solving and how we do it, because there's believe it or not, there's still a lot of belief in the squad, and we kind of feel like we are taking steps, but we have to prove that, and so I did think we proved it in some areas, and they were areas that have been a little bit of our Achilles heel before, so it was pleasing to do that, but we're going to have to do it again on Saturday.
I think you felt like you made some gains against rush defence against Ireland, but last night seemed to struggle with the box pressure there. How do you go about negating that?
Yeah, they're different. They're a very different beast, and we, like I said, if you look at some of the moments where it looked like that they won defensively, there were opportunity around that, and that's the stuff that we're slowly getting used to. We know. Over all the years playing South Africa, you're always going to have big pressure points with the way they do. So no, we didn't quite get it right on Saturday, but the pleasing thing was that there was certainly enough there for us to be interested in.
Just a little catch pass skills, is that what you mean? Like when you create space, looking to finish those?
Just that last pass when you've actually got them, but they're throwing everything at that last situation to try to deal with it late. And if you exercise that skill set, then you've got a lot of space in front. If you don't, then you're in trouble.
I know you talked about this the other day, but there's a wider context here to South Africa not being in your Super Rugby ecosystem anymore. We're beginning to see the sort of high performance impact of that a wee bit, not having that variety of rugby and Super Rugby at the moment.
Yeah, look, it's a question that's got so many answers, isn't it? I mean, from a rugby, from the high performance side, I'd love to be playing them more often. We've had a gap that we haven't played them for a while. We had 2 last year internationally, which was good, but certainly, I think we've always benefited in the past from playing regularly against their super teams. Can't see it happening, which is sad.
Ozzy, you mentioned obviously some games in the line out there. You had Sony and Hooker and pretty big challenge and just a second start, particularly in those first sort of 20 minutes. I mean, you happy with his performance? And I guess,
Yeah.
What was the reluctance to give him a starting opportunity in the July series?
Well, which question you want to ask me first?
How'd he go?
I was asked about the one now, and so, the one now I was delighted with him, and he played well, and so, I thought we liked him because he was quite uncomplicated, didn't get phased, he carried well, I think he contributed well at scrum time, and so he gets a big tick, and big test for him, and delighted with him really. And probably pretty pleased with that front row in the second half too, to be honest. If you look at South Africa in big games, they really go to their scrum in that second half, and it's a big part of their game. And I thought our scrum grew stronger and stronger as that game went on, which again is another pleasing thing.
Given you get a crack straight back at these guys at obviously what's considered their home citadel, is this a big week for the All Blacks and a big week for you?
Yep. Oh, it's a huge week. I mean, every time we always knew coming over here back-to-back tests was going to be massive, and it would have been nice to win the first one, but we didn't, and so you go to Ellis Park and all on the line, and it's it's a trophy that's pretty special for us, and obviously part of the Rugby Championship. So, but we just got to have a deep breath. We know there's a lot of pressure on, and we are feeling that, but we've also got our own pressure on ourselves, because our job right now is to look at our performance and how we can grow it. So understand the frustration, I get that, but doesn't change what we have to do here and now. And there's no point sulking about it for too long. We just got to get into Ellis Park and make some gains and keep growing our game and still believe in it. And I still think that there's something special brewing, but it's we've got to keep showing that.
Given the box tactics work so well for them in terms of the high ball and the breakdown, and I guess they're quite a limited style of game. Do you expect them to do anything different?
Not in the pressure moments. I don't think so. I think that they will. I think I would be surprised if they didn't try to move us around a little bit more at times, if they can get quick ball. But I think when the pressure comes on, that'll be their game, and it's and that's why we need to make sure we seek clarification about what we can and can't do, particularly with high ball stuff, and also with the breakdown stuff, and how to move people, and we've just got to be a little bit sharper in our attack.
Some fresh bodies might, you obviously weigh these things in over the next few days, but could be some fresh bodies. What the doctor ordered?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be looking at making a couple of tweaks.
You got any other injuries apart from Bowden and Geordie?
Oh, my knee's a bit sore, but apart from that, I'm good as gold.
Yeah, just for clarity, the challenge you're referring to is not the one by Arendse right at the end of the match. You talk about an earlier one.
One on the 10th minute.
On
Geordie Barrett.